Okay, we are running a literacy intervention in the heart of the Cape Winelands. And on the one hand, we have the breathtaking scenic beauty. And on the other, we have the beast of poverty, which has many faces. However, I have seen that the two, the beauty and the beast, are not mutually exclusive. For the most striking beauty lies in the children themselves. And the very context of the imperfection makes for boundless realms of possibility. We work in 9 primary school sites in villages originally established to house and sustain the families of the local farm laborers. Each village has its own unique identity coming out of its context and its historical background. But each village, I'm told, has its hut and its skim with its smokkelhazes or shebeens, and substance abuse with associated criminal activity is rife. Sadly, it seems the youth are seeking out gangs and gangsterism out of a need to belong. The school site of PC Peterson, PCP, sandwiched between the beautiful wine estates of Zorgvliet and Boschendal, is where I have the privilege of working. The first day I get to school this term, I discover that it's a crime scene under investigation. It is eerily still. The smell of smoke hangs in the air, and the principal is packing up his partially burned office. It seems that a group of small boys, no smaller than 10 years, broke into the storeroom to sniff petrol, and the petrol canisters exploded after they left the storeroom burning. Though PCP is still in quarantine, Casper continues. No power needed every Tuesday. One thing I have found is that relationship is of the utmost importance. It is out of relationship with a principal, and perhaps the glimmer of hope that Casper brings, that I believe Casper has been allowed to continue. So what is Casper then? It's a constructive after-school program for enrichment in reading. It gets kids off the streets and gives them more to do than just sniff glue, as our leader Lydia Abel says. ORT had targeted STEM subjects in schools since 2008, but what came up repeatedly from principals was inability to read was hampering ability to learn. And so ORT targeted reading to learn and learning to read. When Casper started, an educator said to me, "The children do not like to read." Another said to me, "You will be shocked by what you see." And yes, I am shocked by what I see. But after 3 months, the children wrote on evaluations, "Ons lees lekker by die saal." And an educator wrote, "The children are taking out more books from the library." The need to belong is as basic to us as food and oxygen, we know. And I have seen this in the children's response to Casper. Each child has a name badge which is worn with pride, and we explore the origins of each child's name and what it means. We impress on the children, you have been uniquely chosen by your teacher to be part of this group. And I have seen that in this context, they want a new identity, both as an individual and as a group. Constancy of Casper is key. Same time, same place, same team, same children, hopefully. The children wrote on evaluations, "Juffrou Pen, kom elke Dinsdag, ons lees net op Dinsdae," and so we have seen children grow in confidence. The principal of PCP has reported marks changing in all subjects and facilitated report that children are starting to make the connection between the ability to read and upward mobility. I want to be an engineer. I'm good at maths. I believe in myself and I can do it. This is a grade 6 leesbuddy at Lyndag. The Casper reading model works with small groups of 8 children in pairs, where older children are trained to be the hoof leesbuddy to younger ones using SHINE methodology. We are targeting grade 6s and grade 3s, and this has worked well generally, I must stress, if both can read. Sessions are designed to be fun and creative, different to the traditional chalk and talk. I have seen facilitators come to the end of themselves to try to find the keys to connect in the context and to spark a love of reading and storytelling at school sites. Influenced by the Nalibali and Vulindlela ethos, we try to make songs and games culture-based. For example, I will Google lion hunt, and it's got an American take. I'm going on a lion hunt. I'm not scared. I can see you know. And because the farmers in the area have a problem with sheep being killed at night, the story goes that the principal has appealed to the leersbuddies for help. And so the leersbuddies go on a jakkelsjag. Ek gaan op 'n jakkelsjag. Ek is nie bang nie. Why play childish games? Children are right-brain creatures. Children are creatures of the arts. Children thrive under these conditions that the school does not necessarily create. We have seen in equal levels of instinctual intelligence surface in children from rich and poor backgrounds when alternative methods of stimulating cognitive thinking are used. We have seen that children who do robotics, Casper's other arm, that includes Lego and building blocks, make better readers. See this little boy. He cannot read or write. See how he engages with the building blocks. I can do this. But I want to tell you quickly about Melanicia, because she changed the face of Casper. That's her on my left. She's 13 in grade 6 and cannot read. Disruptive, frustrated. One day at the end of a session, I go to her and say, Mel, what's your favorite song? She says, it's Whitney's, The Greatest Love of All. So I Google it, and at the end of the next session, we sit and with the song and we sing. And I don't want to tell you, there's chaos all around us. Children are sliding in socks, head-butting, wrestling on the floor, you name it. And as we sing, I point with my finger to the words. The next week we do this again. Do you know what the words mean, Mel? No, she says. I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. My translation seems inadequate, but as we sing, I see in her eyes she seems to understand. And for a few moments we are suspended in time. I see you, Mel. And she is exquisite as she wobbles there, like a dewdrop. And can I hold her? But watch the space. Through Mel, I get to Marty Land. To chase down a piano the school is promised. And so a relationship with Michelle of community interaction begins. Do you need volunteers? She says bluntly. I'm almost speechless with need. I'll give you 20 social work students, she says. 1 month later, the figure changes to 40. And just before kickoff in 2013, I get a phone call from her, and she says, sorry, but I need placement for 62 social work students. Are you keen? She challenges me. ORT Cape had just put an ad into the Acrestat asking for vols to help us, and the response we got was absolutely overwhelming. From retired principals to grannies, everybody wanted to help a village raise a child. I'd never seen it before. I didn't even know if it could be true, but now I've seen it. These mothers gather the children like hens under their wings. Anyway, we trained and recruited them all and used them too, which brings us to the cascading reading model. 3 school sites housed social work students. How this works is William, for example, student William is assigned to grade 6 leersbuddy William. So I Google the name, and the name means determined protector. So the grade 6 student is the determined protector of the grade 6 leersbuddy, who is the determined protector of the grade 3 leersbuddy. Now, the actual student, the learner that we are targeting, is the grade 6 leersbuddy, and he becomes the client of the student. He becomes William's practice client. Students are trained to differentiate between their roles as social caseworker and reading coach. So, for example, you would not praise your client according to the BSEC principles of social casework, but as reading coaches, we want the students to model the personal qualities that are absent in the home, starting with respect. And we want plenty of positive reinforcement of the flow of oral language as opposed to technical reading ability. And so we teach the students and vols a simple respect kit of tools known as BEEP to use with their students. BEEP, body language, there's no place I'd rather be. E is for eye contact. E is for encouragement, good try. And E is for elephant training technique. we reward steps towards what we are looking for. How? Through praise. Reward from the inside out. So basically for the coach, if it's leersbuddies, it's beep, and if it's client, it's beestek, and they seem to get that. What next? Are these children who grow like weeds going to be worse off before when these students who are practicing their relationship building love them and leave them? It was a concern of our leader, Lydia, as there is a precedent for this in research. However, relationship involves risk of loss, and so we teach on loss. Kubler-Ross tells the story of how, as a little girl, she lived on a farm where rabbits were bred for their pelts. And each time a rabbit was slaughtered, her parents taught her to acknowledge the loss of the bunny in her life. And out of this experience, Kubler-Ross developed her theory of loss, in which she encourages you and I to identify the little bunnies in our lives and to process the grief in 5 suggested stages. So on site, we school our students to help their leersbuddy clients to prepare for this. If the students can get a handle on this, they will have an invaluable life skill to apply and to teach the children. It's as if he sees it for the first time. Curiosity. Our leader Lydia makes the point that the effects of the impoverished communities is that curiosity and imagination seem to be knocked out of children who fall between the cracks. Firstly in the home, and secondly in the classroom where teachers are struggle to manage large numbers. But key for Casper is that brain science suggests that children and adults are wired for curiosity. And I have seen the natural curiosity can be awakened quickly through stories that capture the heart and the mind. Brain science also suggests that the same areas of our brain light up when we engage in story, just as they would in real life. For example, you were a child reading Hansel and Gretel, and you just know the children are about to be abandoned by their father in the middle of the forest. If you identify with that child, perhaps the issues of abandonment, the same areas of your brain will light up as if it was really happening to you in real life. And it seems that this emotional component is at the heart of language development, and it also gives us the courage to rewrite the scripts of our lives. It seems we are wired to be inspired to change. And so we see how the students are taught to tap into the natural curiosity of the child, teaching the child to find links between things, to establish cause and effect. For example, the trail of breadcrumbs left by Hansel is bread. What would happen if ... Add this interpersonal connection between student and leersbuddy into the chemistry, and I have seen a powerful catalyst.
We need to start moving in the next people.
Okay, right. A Casper group, powerful catalyst in the potential for social change.